Can you imagine waking up one morning and realizing that someone you know has simply vanished? Not in a crime, not in an accident, but by choice. In Japan, this happens to as many as 100,000 people every single year. They are called the Johatsu, which means the evaporated people. It is a silent epidemic of disappearance. These are mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters who, one day, walk out of their lives and never come back. To understand the Johatsu, we have to talk about something that is a powerful force in Japan: shame. Now, most of us understand guilt. Guilt is that feeling you get inside when you know you've done something wrong. It's a private conversation with your own conscience. Shame, however, is different. Shame is public. It's not about what you think of yourself. It's about what you believe everyone else thinks of you. It is the fear of losing face, of bringing dishonor not just to yourself, your family, your company, your community. It can feel like a social death sentence. In a society that places a very high value on harmony and the group over the individual, a personal failure is never just personal. If you lose your job, get a divorce, fall into debt, the feeling is not just that you have failed, but that you have let everyone down. You have become a disruption. This creates an incredible amount of pressure to maintain a perfect public image at all times. People can go to extraordinary lengths to hide their struggles, wearing a brave face at work, wearing a brave face at home while they are quietly falling apart on the inside. This pressure to be perfect can turn everyday problems into unbearable crises. Imagine being a dedicated employee who gets demoted. Imagine a student who fails an important exam. In some cultures, this would be a setback you could share with loved ones and work through. But when the culture dictates that such a failure brings shame upon your entire circle, the isolation can become immense. Let me tell you about a man we'll call Kenji to protect his privacy. Kenji's story is like that of so many others. He was a salaryman in his late 40s, a loving husband, and a father to a teenage daughter. For over 2 decades, he had dedicated his life to a single company. His job was his identity. He worked long, grueling hours, often getting home after his daughter was already asleep. Then, the economy shifted. His company began to struggle. He wasn't fired, but he was demoted. Less responsibility, lower salary. For Kenji, it was a public declaration of failure. The shame was immediate and overwhelming. He couldn't bear telling his wife. Every morning he left as if for work, but spent his days in parks and libraries, trying to figure out what to do. The lie grew heavier. He felt like an imposter in his own life. Thinking of his family's name, the shame became a physical ache. One evening he wrote a simple note. He was sorry, and it was for the best. He left his wallet, his company ID, and his wedding ring. He packed a small bag and a little cash. He walked out into the night, not knowing where he was going, only that he couldn't stay. The midnight escape. How night movers operate. How does a person disappear in a connected world? It's not as simple as walking away. Enter Yonagaya, night-moving shops, facilitators of disappearance. For a few hundred to several $1,000s, they work discreetly and professionally, in the shadows, offering a lifeline. Contact is made via coded messages. A hidden consultation sets date, time, and destination. They avoid cameras, choose untracked routes, and help craft an untraceable life. When a person chooses to become Johatsu, they leave behind more than an empty chair at the dinner table. They leave a gaping hole filled with unanswered questions and a unique kind of grief. Because their loved one is not officially dead, there is no funeral, no formal closure, no socially acceptable way to mourn. They are trapped in limbo, suspended between hope and despair. Every knock, every unknown call brings a surge of hope that is just as quickly crushed. Spouses blame themselves, replaying every conversation, searching for a missed clue. Children grow up with a phantom parent, remembered with love, yet absent like an unspoken wound. The shame the person tried to escape often transfers to those left behind. And the Johatsu? Many live in the margins, in poverty, without stable jobs, healthcare, or services. They must constantly look over their shoulder, afraid of being discovered. The freedom they sought is replaced by fear and instability. They are ghosts in their own country, invisible and disconnected. The joy of a child's birthday, A spouse's embrace, a call to an old friend, gone. Many find they have traded the public shame of failure for the private agony of total isolation, a tragic irony that deepens their pain. The idea of starting over, of wiping the slate clean, has a romantic appeal. But for the Johatsu, this fantasy rarely matches reality. By disappearing, they step outside the system and lose its protections and privileges. They trade the cage of social expectation for the cage of anonymity, a prison just as confining. Without legal identity, legitimate work is impossible, pushing many into low-paying, under-the-table jobs, vulnerable, disposable, unprotected. Healthcare becomes precarious, minor issues escalate, and emergencies risk exposure. Life on a razor's edge. One stroke of bad luck can collapse everything. They cannot form deep bonds without risking their past. Every friendship rests on a lie. Belonging goes unfulfilled. The story of Japan's Johatsu may seem distant, but it holds a universal lesson. In our social media-driven world, the pressure to present a perfect life is everywhere. We curate our identities, our successes, our happy moments, our best angles. We manage our public image and know the fear of being judged. The Johatsu are an extreme mirror of what happens when pressure becomes unbearable, and when society leaves no room for imperfection. Behind every brave face, someone may be struggling. It's a call to build more compassion, more empathy, more safe spaces. We need cultures, at home and at work, where failure is not a final judgment but part of the human journey. Start with small kindnesses. Check in on a quiet friend. Support employees. Teach children their worth is not defined by grades or trophies, but by character and heart. Normalize conversations about mental health, about debt, and about failure. Foster communities with room to be imperfect, to make mistakes, to ask for help. Don't judge those who disappear. Listen, and build a world where fewer feel the need to vanish. A life with room for grace and second chances for all of us.